Hey, sorry about that, everybody. Evidently, I got kicked off, and it just kind of kicked everybody off. But just to kind of go back to the talking point, hopefully, of where we left off. And Jenna, once again, she saved our butts from talking for an hour
Hmm.
without realizing it. And my question was, what about Xenoscope? I mean, do you consider that an independent comic book?
I would personally, I would consider Zetascope an independent company because they do have, even though they seem like they're everywhere, they do have limited print runs and things like that, and they're putting out, like they hire out work and stuff like that. So I think that's
I
one
don't know if it
giant
makes it
independent
independent
business.
though.
You
I mean,
don't
if they're
think
hiring,
so?
I don't
I
know. I
mean,
mean, like if it's something that you worked on your own, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's independent to a certain extent. So, I mean, when you start hiring outside sources to work on your comic, I mean, I don't know if it feels independent per se. You know,
Yeah.
Well, what's
I
what's
mean,
the
that's
difference? What's the common rule to make? We know the mainstreams, DC, Marvel. What makes other companies independent? I mean, like to me, Xenoscope now.
I just think it's something you work on your own. Like something
Right.
you do, like as far as writing,
Yeah.
drawing. Some people can do lettering. I mean, like
The type of book I don't have in my store, I consider them as independent.
Right.
Because in my store, I only have Marvel, DC, and Image. Sometime IW, sometime which the other one?
Balance.
Valent.
Valid. Yeah,
I
one or two copies. That's it. Like Bloodshot maybe, but I don't have any Black Mask. I don't have any.
But I think it's difficult to equate success and once a company becomes successful, are they still independent? And so I think you got to go back to like the statement that it's a creator controlled,
Yeah.
creator owned.
yeah.
Yeah, you can talk about print run and stuff, but if I've only made one comic, I made it all myself, but I may decide to make 1 million copies of it. So the print run you got to throw out the window, but I think it really revolves around uh, creator content and control over everything. That's
Yeah,
their shit. Like,
that's exactly what I thought. I
right,
thought
you
that
Yeah.
that once you own, if you can create a character or story and keep your rights to it and own that character regardless of the publisher, then that makes you an independent company because you
right, you
can't
can,
do that in DC and Marvel, but you can do that in Image. You can do
right,
that in, you can own your own. Like I was speaking to Cliff Chang about Paper Girls with Brian K. Vaughan, and that they specifically they own the rights to that book, even
Yeah.
though Image publishes for them. So that's why
Yeah.
I would consider a company like that still independent, as long as the writers and artists can keep their characters and their rights. That was the whole reason Image started because all these guys, Liefeld, Jim Lee, they helped create these characters and
They don't
they
own
felt
them.
they wasn't getting, yeah, they don't own them and they wasn't getting the money worth that, the money
Right.
that they thought
Correct.
they were worth. So
Yeah.
they created Image so that they
Exactly.
could be always create your own character, own your own rights.
And
yeah,
that's
you take
why
someone like Dave Sims, who's done Cerebus for so long on Aardvark, or Lady Death is another successful image or
Harry. No,
independent title.
that's Chaos Comics. That was done by Brian Pulido,
is it
Jensen, and Stephen Hughes. Stephen Hughes did the artwork
No,
and everything.
right, but even though that's where you got to separate the branding of it, whoever it's
Mhm.
on, and you talk about like that story as itself, like you get Cursed Pirate Girl. That's an independent book.
do you
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
very independent book. Yes.
do
Well,
you consider Vertigo an independent or because
No.
Vertigo is owned by DC, it's no longer indie?
No, it's
No,
not an indie.
no, yeah,
It's
no.
not an indie.
It has indie intentions, which is the same thing independent or Image has. It's got an indie mind when they do it. They're giving artists and creators a chance and a shot. But you know what? Just because you're a rookie doesn't mean that you don't play for the team.
So
And that
can
team
you
has been
be?
established.
Let me ask this one. Can you be under a label such as Image Comics or I don't know, name another indie, Vertigo or whatever, still be
IDW.
under
Balance.
IDW,
Balance.
Valiant.
Valiant.
Valiant,
Valiant.
still be
But
under
you
that
know,
label, but still be considered your own
but
indie
I
source line.
I think so.
I just want to talk about Valiant again. Is Valiant considered indie? Is the for instance Bloodshot? Is Bloodshot all is the owned by Valiant or the guy who created it?
Owned by
Because if
Valiant.
Owned by
so
Valiant.
now Valiant isn't considered independent now
No.
because it's not the you know what I'm
No,
because
he's not.
But
You know what?
That's a
A
good
good
question.
example.
Are they still considered independent now
No.
because of their rights with Sony and the movies they're making?
No, they got
Now
bigger,
it's a
and
franchise.
I think
Yeah.
they're technically one of the next to Image and all that, or probably behind Image, I would
because
say.
we
this goes
consider
back to what we were
independent as a storyline that like was to the writer, but now Valiant they own the right to those characters, not the guy who actually created
The
it.
only ones
Well,
they
this-
didn't own were the Gold Key characters: Dr. Mirage, Solar, the Man of Adam, Magnus, Robot
Magnus,
Hunter,
Robot
and
Hunter.
Turok.
This goes
and
back to
Turok
what we were
Dinosaur
talking about
Hunter.
Zenoscope.
But wait a minute,
The
guys,
same thing
guys,
with
guys,
Zenoscope.
guys. 1 second. Let's go back to what Marty was saying before. What about Milestone? Remember, Milestone wanted to be independent, but they needed DC help to publish them. And that before DC bought them out, Milestone owned their own character. Icon, Hardware, Static. One point, Milestone did own them before DC bought them out. So would you
Well, that
consider
goes
them
to
independent?
source of funding. Like
Yeah.
basically, if you're an independent, in my eyes, if you're independent, you're self-funded it to an extent. Nothing Marvel, DC. Obviously, DC's owned by Warner Brothers. Marvel's owned by Disney. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Image in the 90s was self-sufficient. They were self-funding, so they were considered independent. Same thing as far as how I apply the label independent. If some dude's on Kickstarter and he makes a book,
Yeah.
he's an independent. You know, if he goes to WB or goes to DC and says, I need funding for this, he's now part of the DC stable. His book is no
Exactly.
longer independent.
You're
book.
now a branch of that tree.
You're
so
a branch, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, you only stay independent when you can take whatever you created under one publisher and bring it to another publisher.
What about this? What about Robert Kirkman with Outcast and with The Walking Dead and the Fear of the Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Would he still be considered independent, or
Nope.
since he's logged on to AMC, now he's logged into Cinemax?
I don't
mean-
think Image. You should consider Image as an independent anymore. It's part of the big three now.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah, no, but it
Like-
is independent because the Image doesn't own Walking Dead or Outcast. Robert Kirkman owns Walking Dead and Outcast, so it's still
Right.
independent. If Image was owned the titles, then you
But-
could say it's not independent.
but,
He could take his products and leave and say, "Forget you, Image. I'm going somewhere else." And so that makes still Image independent.
I think what Rage said was the best way of stating it. You know, because we'll talk about Mark Millar again. He got Millar World. Okay, that's just an umbrella underneath that. The same way Image, when all those big guys went off and did their own Wildstorm and all that stuff, Top Cow with Silvestri, they created new companies, and I don't know. I don't think.
I think I'll go with you, man. To be independent, you need to be self-efficient. You know, you need to found yourself. Not when you're starting to be big, you're not indie anymore. You're part of what.
You're part of the
Well,
giant.
if that's the case, then there is no independence now with Image, now with Valiant, now with any of them because they're all being published by a company.
No,
I agree.
I
We got the
thought
Black
the
Mass,
guy who
we
published his
got-
own book.
We got a lot of independent labels out there.
The lawyer in the chat room, Michael Seif, was on the same wavelength as myself and my thoughts. So he knows what he's talking about as far as this stuff. So there you go. Debate is settled.
All right, then. I got to go with the lawyer.
I am right.
Can't go
I
against.
approve of this topic.
Show's over, I guess. All right, you guys.
Next topic.
All right,
well,
Yes, next topic. You guys are ruthless. All right, so next topic is why do you collect comics? Why do you think others do? And I'm going to mix the other one. When did you start collecting comics?
I think some people just collect comics for the money.
That is true, totally.
For the cash.
I collect
I
comics
personally
because-
collect comics for my pleasure. It's so fun to be able to read comic books, not only to watch things at the movie. You know, when you read a comic, you know where it's coming from. You see the teamwork between an artist and a writer, and just art. to be
I
honest.
read comics. I collect comics out of loyalty. Everything in my life has been affected. Oh, a comic has always been there. I've always had a comic at hand when I'm feeling shitty, when I'm in a good mood, you know what I mean. So like comics have always been there for me, and yeah, that's why I collect. I just love them. I actually love it.
Marty got kicked out again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still live
no.
though, so
We're
We're
let's
still
keep
live.
going.
We're still live.
Well,
Everybody relax.
1208 somewhere says to stay away from drugs, and I totally think that's a good one.
Okay.
You know, I
Drugs
would
go
agree with
hand in
him. I
hand,
would agree
so.
with him up to a point, but comic books became my drug.
This
Okay.
is true. Totally.
It's a virus, goddammit.
Yeah,
I
it's a
agree.
virus.
Some people will tell you that you only collect comic books for the money. Some people do, sure. There's
95%.
as far as I can see it, there's two type of people in the comic book collecting industry. There's comic collectors and there's uneducated speculators. Comic collectors have many subtypes. You could be a speculator and you're still a collector, but there's also uneducated speculators. You know,
Yes.
so people collect for all kinds of different reasons. Just don't be an uneducated speculator. If you're going to be a speculator, be educated.
Yeah,
And,
I collect for. I still collect as an adult because it brings me back to that time when I was a teenager and I was having fun with comics. And I don't know, I look at a book and,
I'm sorry.
and honestly,
I'm sorry to interrupt. Did we move the topic while I was gone?
We did.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
We're talking about.
I'm sorry to Enrique. I'm sorry to interrupt
It's all
you,
right,
man,
it's
but
all right.
my computer. I just need to upgrade. That's what I need to do. I just need to upgrade.
you
So
gotta
I
start
guess
some
we're-
comics.
Yeah, Jenna tells me I gotta sell my my statue collection, which this is what I say to that, Jenna. Okay. Okay.
As
All
long
right.
as it'll keep you online, just
Yeah.
sell those things to pay your bill or something. I don't know.
No, don't you ever. I have killed
Internet?
people for less than that stuff. All right, Enrique, I'm sorry. I apologize, brother. We're on the
That's all right.
topic of why we
Why do
collect.
you collect? Yeah.
Right.
I just collect because I don't know. I see the books. It makes me happy. You know, I look at it. I look at the color. I smell it. Smells good. Remember?
Yeah.
Wow.
The other day?
That comic
Yeah.
smell, man.
Yeah.
Comic smell.
Old
And,
comic smell.
And I like to read stories that have pictures. That's the bottom line.
Oh
I
God,
can't
yeah.
read- I read novels. I've read novels. I've read Lord of the Rings. I've read all those.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy the artwork. I enjoy the fantasy part of it. That is not real life. You know, because we
let's
deal
be
with so
honest.
much in real life. There's so much things going on in the world right now, and this is just a little escape. You know, you can go somewhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah, just
Well, man,
just like
Hey.
Beacon said, man. The artwork is a part of the book. The storyline can be good, but if the art is
It's what
ugly,
attracts you. Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, if the
Visual
art
art.
sucks in a book, it really hurts the story that it's
Yeah.
trying to tell.
It does.
It's always
Yeah.
visual
I
first.
can attest to that
Everything.
many a times. I've been collecting for about 30 years at least. God, I'm old. Anyway, it brings. I always liked the superheroes, and I liked some of these stories that were coming out when I was growing up, and as I got into adult. When I was in that whole '90s thing and got all caught up, like I think everybody got caught up when Superman got killed. Everybody flocked and got even me. I was kind of like midway out of the game. I wasn't picking up anything at that time, and I said, they're going to be around. And then when they said Superman's going to die, it kind of got me back in. And I was like everybody else, buying 10, 20, 30, whatever. And I kind of think right now, in a way, guys and gals, that it's getting to that almost like that point again. Everybody they're making 10,000 fucking variants. Everybody's buying 5 or 4 or 6 copies of every issue. It's getting to a point that until these comic book films start going downhill, that's when this shit's gonna crash on us again. That's what I'm worried about.
Do you mean, Mark? Do you mean we can't retire on these books? Come on.
We can't fucking not on the
We can't
not on
retire
the
on
these
this stuff?
fucking books that are coming out now.
Comics aren't
My
going.
kids to college.
Unless you got a Superman action #1 and all that other shit, then yeah, you have a nice little package.
So wait a
yourself.
minute. The Origin of Galactus is not going to pay for my daughter's college?
No, it is not, sir. I hate this.
$50
You
month.
have to find a new campaign
Why
to
am I
Trump.
here?
Well,
I've
what
been
else?
collecting comics since
what do you
I've read an
1980.
article about superhero movies where they were saying, it's very popular, but one day it's gonna fade out like Western did back in the 20s. There were a lot of big Western movies,
That's
Western
an
TV
excellent
shows.
point. Excellent.
Talking
point.
about
And
the
it died.
50s and
Listen.
60s, not the 20s, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I
No.
say? You know what I say to every time I hear
And a
every
lot
time I
of
read an
shit's happened
article,
like that.
every time I read an article like that, or I see something like, or someone mentions a comment like that, I say to myself, "Good," because then I can get my keys at a lower price. Because I collected at a point, yeah, I collected books in a point where
Yeah.
movies weren't popular. So
Those-
and I still collected. I still dug in boxes. And I still, to me,
Yeah.
that doesn't even matter. Like
I think,
the movie industry could bomb. That's good. I love it. I wish it would bomb. I
Well,
wish
you
it
know,
would bomb.
yes and no.
No, I need
Yes.
everything
Wait,
for
hold on.
DC right now.
Yeah,
Kill
yes
me
and
right now.
Yes and no, because I love seeing that brought to the big screen. You know what I mean? I really love seeing that. But then again, I also love my comics. I've been collecting since I was a little kid. I got involved in a little kid. So, and it does kind of bother me with the fact that a lot of these key issues are just, the prices are just crazy. They're just soaring out of control, and there's people that who've never collected before, started getting into collecting, but they only see what a lot of people are seeing now, just the monetary values of the books, the large prices of the books, seeing 20, 30 variants, so people are seeing that. Not a lot of people are seeing the storylines and the love for the books as we did when we were growing up, and that when we were collecting and things like that. Good and bad. I mean, pros and cons. Not necessarily one side is good, not necessarily one side is bad. I mean, you got your pros and cons with that, but with that said, guys, I mean, do you think that when someone says, you know what, the only reason why you guys collect comic books is just for monetary gain only, what does that tell you about that person? What does that tell you about?
That's utter and complete bullshit, is what that is.
I get completely offended when I hear something like that, because, like I said, I associate comics to something that's been there. It's things I shared with my family, things I've shared with my new family, you know what I mean? It's been there. It's a part of my life. It's ingrained in who I am. And for anybody just to say that it's about the money, you don't get it. You don't get it, and I don't think you should have it.
The money is a nice, the money is an okay thing with it. But I'm not the one.
Exactly.
I'm not the one going out. I'm reading Injustice. I'm reading all my books that I pick up. I've been locked in with Justice League #1, New 52 since day one of that book, and I've been enjoying the run. And I hate to see it go, and I'm gonna see where it goes and leads us off the Rebirth. But I'm enjoying that shit. Now, am I gonna go out and sell these goddamn books now? No. I'm gonna keep them because I enjoyed the fucking story. That's why I keep.
You know what it is too? People get confused when we talk about the deal. Oh, I got this for this much, or I got that for that much. People get confused at that. Anything that you buy in life, you want to buy it at the lowest price possible and have the best product. It's the same thing with a car. You want to get the sale for the best car. Whatever it is that you buy, any product, anything that you buy in life, you want to pay less for it and to get the most out of it. And that's the same thing with comic books. Once you apply that same rule to everything, everyone is the same way.
Yeah, just about everything has a monetary value, and when something has a monetary value, it gets popular. When it gets popular, you're going to get people who are going to exploit it, and when you get people who are going to come out and exploit it, that's bad for us. That's bad for people who love comics and like comics and enjoy comics.
It gets tougher for us to try. Maybe we're not looking at a monetary value of it. Maybe we're looking to plug up a hole. We're missing that issue and shit like that.
Now, there's nothing wrong with somebody making a living. There's nothing wrong with somebody making a living, making a buck, speculating, all that stuff, because it's part of the hobby, and you have to have education and information on what you're selling in order to be good at that. So
what do you guys think about Marvel and DC? When now with comics book, they like tie in the movies and the comics together.
Silly. I just think it's silly. I mean, it's fine, but I miss the days of a comic book adaptation. Like old school stuff.
Yeah.
Where, like
Batman.
Yeah, I mean, the tie-ins I just think is just it really just gives you buy more comics. That's cool.
I don't like the tie-ins too. I think the cash and grab. I mean, they did it a couple of times with some of the DC. New 52 lines, and I didn't buy into it. I really didn't. It's just.
I will tell you.
Let me just go back for a second. Just for someone to come out and say, "I know exactly why everybody collects comics, and it's for the money." That's the absolute height of narcissism.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it
is. You
is.
cannot know why everyone on this panel collects comics. You can't. You can't assume that everyone collects for monetary gain. I mean.
No,
like I said, I find that it really offensive and insulting. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I-
the reason why I collect comics is because if it wasn't for my father's comic collection back in the day when I first saw it, and he gave me like his old comics like Captain Action and stuff back in the day. If I didn't get that box of comics, I'd probably be playing in Game 3 of the finals tonight, the Western Conference Finals. But that's not the thing. I
So
like
your
comics.
father ruined your future, then, James. That was
There you go.
See,
Comic books
See,
have a
I'm
value.
just the opposite.
Comics,
So I
comic
mean,
books
like,
have a value,
I
but
just
mean,
collect them just for the story. You know, it's like
Yeah.
back when things came out, like say like that short box I got, which was so cool that I decided to get more, and that led me into getting like Uncanny X-Men, the Silvestri run, or the Jim Lee run, or even the Norm Breyfogle Batman run. I love stuff like that, and it just grew and grew and grew. That small box turned into a big storage like section I have right now in some like part of town, which is insane.
What were you saying, Rage?
I'm sorry, Rich.
oh no, sorry, I was interrupting you. No, I was just gonna say comics have a value, like anything. So, like when you were a kid, you collected baseball cards. You look at the price guide. It was cool when your book went up. That's all part of collecting. So if you have a Green Lantern one and you bought it for $30 and it goes up to $60, for instance, like Biggie's was saying, you want to buy things cheap and see the value increase over time. It doesn't mean that's why you're collecting. For instance, you buy a Youngblood one, you get it signed by Rob Liefeld. It's never going to be worth anything, but you love that book, right?
Did you see the young blood Easter
when
eggs,
someone
like, in
tells me
Outcast?
that I buy for the money, I personally I don't have. As a student, I can't afford $300 books, so I don't keep my books. And I personally know I'll never sell my books on eBay because I don't see the point. I love my book. Every single copies I've chosen personally because I love the comic. Now,
Here's another example too, and a recent example that I'll give you guys that I had. You guys know I had a Preacher #1 come back at 9.8. You guys remember that, right? And I actually talked to you guys about it. It's like, well, when should I sell it? How much should I sell it for? Because there's a book that I want to get. I wanted to get Amazing Spider-Man #14 because to me that holds more love and more passion because you guys know I love Spider-Man. So in order for me to, so I sold this book in order to get something else that I love. To me that doesn't. I don't look at that as I'm collecting comic books for monetary purposes, for an investment, for whatever. I utilize that as a tool to be able to flip that so I can buy something that
exactly.
Man, there's nothing wrong with that. That all falls
wrong
under
with
that.
People do that all the time with
That
sold
falls
the
under
Galactus,
collecting.
whatever.
I sold the Galactus Bowen statue, huge statue. I sold that. I sold a Wolverine Bowen statue. I sold like 2 long boxes of comic books so that I could buy my kids new furniture. I just recently sold Civil War, the complete set 1 through 7, the original one, for $78. So that's how I bought my Action Comics 82. That's life. And that's why you want to buy low, because when things come up that you need extra cash for, your hobby, you want your hobby to be able to be profitable too when you want it to.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't mean it's wrong.
That's the thing. It's not really. We're not having a conversation about what is collecting because everything is collecting, but it's a conversation about when someone tells you you're only collecting for this purpose. They know for a fact you're only collecting because of the monetary value of the books. It's crazy. Like maybe some people, the guy who goes, listen, the guy who goes out to the store and he buys every single #1 book, doesn't know anything about them, has no intention of reading them, but buys every single #1 book. That is just uneducated speculation, and you're only doing it for the money.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
Yeah, and it's fine if you want to do that. Also, it's fine. Call yourself a dealer.
Call yourself. Yeah, it's fine. That's the thing. There's all kinds of aspects to collecting, but to know why everyone collects, it's impossible. You don't know why. The guy might want to just buy all the #1s.
That's just an assumption.
Yeah, here's another thing I do. So if I was collecting for monetary purposes, for speculation, for whatever, then I would just be collecting key issues, right? I'd just be nothing but key issues or anything that are speculations. But but I have so many long boxes of books that I'm trying to complete runs on, and not all of them are key issues. Not all of them are they're storylines and books that I have a personal love for because I like the storyline or I like the character or whatever, you know. So I don't collect for just key issues, you know. So I totally understand that. I could see why that could be an upsetting topic for some people, especially with the love and passion that you have for what you do, you know. I don't know. So
Mhm.
who else? I mean, why do you collect comic books? Right? We're
I
still
know.
just
Back to the a bit money. I know. For personally, for instance, I want to complete a set because I want to complete the set, and then I go online to, for instance, see a book, and I see, let's say, every single copies of 80 plus comic is like $2 a piece, and then you go and one specific fucking comic is like $100 because it's the first appearance of I don't know fucking who. And that pisses me off. I just want to fucking complete the set. I don't care about that first appearance of that son of a bitch, you know?
Right. No, I hear you. I hear you.
Well, for me,
When I was collecting the Injustice, when I thought it was like any other fucking comic. It was just something to tie into the game to get the game more sales. And one day, a friend of mine brought his copy in, and I read it. I said, "Oh shit, this is really fucking good." Number 1 was sold out, went into a third printing. Number 2 was sold out, went into a third printing. So I had the, yeah. So I got like the third or fourth printings, and then I wanted to get the first printing because I'm a first printing guy. And
We know that. We know
yeah,
that.
you. Anyway, so you know, it's just like saying, you know, well, who made all that? You know, because they supposed say they got a low print run and all this other shit. Well, who's saying that? You know, and what do you consider a low print run? You know, yeah, that's the other shit out there. I mean, who the hell knows? Everybody's gonna, you know. I've been collecting since I was a kid, and because I like the stories and I like my heroes, and if you know, if it does go up and give me some monetary value as I'm getting older, yeah, okay, fine. But you know, honestly, I'm just going to buy the freaking stories and the heroes that I enjoy, and that's it.
I'm the same way because if it wasn't for comics, I don't think I would be working in IT like I am now. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
reading stuff like Reed Richards and Tony Stark and all them stuff,
Yeah.
that what got me into computers because I see them working on those big machines that
Yeah.
Kirby drew. And I'm like,
Was it
I want to do that. I want to do that. So, but, I
Well, I
mean,
got
yeah,
into
it
comics
has
because
value.
I couldn't even, I always wanted to draw and stuff. So, I wanted to be like an inker, like your boy over here, Jenna's fiance, and so I decided to be a painter instead of an inker. Paint people's apartments and offices.
So every now and then you'll draw a character on the wall, then you paint over it, right, man?
Yeah. Exactly.
You don't want that, Manny and Wesley.
You don't want that.
so where we at, guys?
We're just finishing up, starting a new topic.
Hold on. Did everybody get a chance to answer why they collected? I mean,
Yeah.
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 okay.
I'm good on it. I'm good.
good.
I even receive comic books from one of my really good clients for massage. She just hands me all of these. This is my tip.
Oh,
Wow.
Do you have do you have an amazing fantasy number 15 in there by chance?
No. I do
Just the
have
tip. Just the tip.
just the tip. I know
Exactly.
just the tip.
Just the tip.
Let's play
That's
a
how
little
you go get ants.
Yeah.
That's
Let's
how
play-
you get ants.
Let's play a little game I like to call just the tip.
Oh God. Or Alex, you're pulling my hair.
All right, Jenna, what's the next topic?
Lana! The next topic is, besides comics, what else do other people like to collect? So I have an obsession with books. So, and I don't know why. I just collect every single book out there. I see that
Record
Marty.
vinyls.
Yeah, oh, good, record vinyls. I see that Marty likes those little toys over there.
Toys, yeah. Let's call them toys, Jenna. Okay, we're gonna call them toys. Okay.
Little Barbie dolls.
Yeah. My toys. Here we go.
I'm
I
just
think
joking.
I was such. Yeah, I know. I was such a big collector. and I took a break from comics for a while. And then I started collecting coins. I was really big in collecting coins. I was
Silver
big,
coins?
not bitcoins. No, not bitcoins.
Bitcoins.
But just like places that I would go to, like on my deployments or my travels and things like that, I'd always, get a few coins or dollar bills from places that I went to. So I always enjoyed doing stuff like that. But yeah, I was just really big into it. Now this, yeah, I guess you can say this is a collection, the statues and what have you, because you see a variety of them. But but I don't know. I guess you can call it collecting, but I don't look at it as collecting because it's like I see a statue and I want it, you know what I mean? And I love it for whatever reason because of the character or the artwork. And next thing you know, it just accumulates and accumulates, and then it becomes a collection, But I don't set out making it a collection.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's my thing right there, I guess.
I collect board games.
Ooh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
You actually made your own board game too, Sean, didn't you?
I did. I don't have it handy, but yeah, I made my own. I made it for my wife for Christmas, and it was a big labor of love and stuff like that. But right now, my family, we play a lot of board games, and like comics and board games, they're better when you enjoy them with people. And board games for me, yeah, again, it's nostalgic reasons and stuff like that. But we're sitting on a collection now about 150. We just bought a huge bulk of games. So, but most of them we play. We cycle through all the games and we still play them, and we're always buying new ones and trying to get some vintage ones. So, yeah, it's cool.
For me, we collect video games. I mean, ever since from the Atari 2600 to now. I mean, you can't see it, but I have an old Sega Dreamcast. I have a Master System. Still got plenty of games for it. Oh, it's just something. Comics and video games seem to go together for me.
Jeff, I noticed that a lot of people now are collecting the old, Nintendo games, the Coleco games. They're going back and just kind of keeping that in sort of a collection. In a sense. Yeah. Nowadays, before, I remember I used to have all that. I was just throwing them out. If I couldn't throw them out, I'd give them to the thrift store or someplace, Salvation Army. But now people are all trying to get that back, to have that as part of their, I don't know, motif or collection they have of different gaming systems.
Yeah, I believe there's a Marvel versus Capcom that came out for the Xbox and is rare, and people are paying like hundreds of dollars for a video game.
Yep. Well, and I worked at GameStop for a while, and they had like huge different variations of games that would come out. So people would get them because they'd have like the night vision goggles with the main one for Call of Duty. I've actually started. I put my PS2 back up, but only because I like God of War.
Yeah, I mean, I collect video games, nowadays because I don't even like selling to GameStop anymore because all the crappy prices.
You want 10 cents for that? You want 10 cents?
That drove me insane. That drove me insane. I would have this whole stack of stuff. Like, Jenna, I would have this whole crate of stuff, and I shit you not, I would get nowhere close to what would equate to one brand new video game. I hated it.
That's happened to me one time, James. That happened to me one time. I went in there with a whole stack of games, new games and everything. I just didn't play. I brought it in there. We're going to give you a gift card for $6 for this. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, no freaking way,
You go in there with a crate, and you go into a crate of video games and high hopes, and you come out with like $25, and you're like.
They give you KY jelly for free though. They're like, here's some anal.
So I collect. So I like Jeff. I collect, video games as well. Like I still have my old Nintendo system, and I even still have my Sega CD system, which I play the shit out of all the time. I love that system. I mean, it was one of those systems that was way ahead of its time, and I collect that. And see, I love you, Jeff. You're the man. We gotta hang.
That's why I'm the mayor.
I'm voting for you, brother. I'm voting for you.
I go backwards. I go way backwards. Record vinyls. This is one of the Beatles pressings that they did for the U.S. So, yeah, and Elvis, King of Rock and Roll, another 45 original pressing. You know, I'm more into that. I also got my heavy metal stuff. I got the first 3 Metallica albums, original pressings, and all that stuff like that. And I got my turntable right here. That's my record
so
player.
cool.
So, and that's what I collect on the side. Other things were stamps when I was younger, and my dad collects coins, so I got like a little bit of the coins. You know, not too crazy, just like the state quarters and the president dollars and stuff like that. But other than that, you know, it's been records for me.
I'm with Marty. I don't know if I can call it. I'm like with Marty and Marky. I don't know if I can call it collecting. I do have records, but I don't collect records. When I see a good record, I buy it. I've got some Jimi Hendrix, some I think I can get it, some French Canadian records.
I mean, you want to talk about dollar fines? I mean, you could easily
French
find
records.
good. You can find some. No. You can find some good records. You know, good full-length album records that came out in the '80s and all that stuff for in the
There's
dollar
some,
bins, and they're hardly played. Yeah, there you go.
Some Jimi Hendrix. Just some. I love to play records when I don't know, I'm cleaning the room or something. I love having this music in
That's
the
great.
background of my home.
I like
Like
that.
some
That's awesome.
French Canadian group.
Yeah.
And some a classic.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, there you go. I remember that. Yeah.
The classic or some Queen.
Yeah.
But
You gotta get some off the wall, man.
but those are like all the records. I have got like recent that I bought like the new, brand new records that they just pressed. But again, it's I'm not collecting those. I'm just because
You're
I
enjoying
enjoy
them. You're enjoying them. Yeah. You're
So
like
let
me.
me. That kind of brings me back, and it kind of comes around full circle. When you guys collect things like that, right? Is it for monetary purposes or not?
Oh fuck no!
Fuck no.
So it's about things you love, right? It's about the things you love. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's about what you love.
Yeah.
Look at
So
that.
it kind of goes back to what Trevor was talking about, you know, that, you know, it doesn't matter if it's comic books, it doesn't matter if it's vinyl records, it doesn't matter if it's coins, it doesn't matter if it's an old PlayStation game for whatever reason. On this channel, you're going to hear about people talk about things that they love to do, and the things they love to do is collect, whether it be comic books, but we focus on comic books, of course. But that is why I wanted to bring it full circle with that topic, is because what else do you collect? You know, I mean, nowadays people are collecting Funko Pops, or they're collecting
My best
action
friend
figures,
does that.
or you know.
Funko Pops are the new Teletubbies.
They're new
love
crack.
them.
They're the new
I've
crack
got-
out there.
I remember
Babies.
when I first
They're the new beanie hole. The beanie babies.
when I first
Wow,
started
we're gonna talk
collecting
about
comic
Crash
books.
and Fall. Do an
Right.
hour special on that.
When
Oh,
I first, oh
nice.
yeah, when I first started collecting comic books like 3 years
Hit
ago,
me.
I told myself I'll never get Funko Pops because I'm not a statue collector.
I love
fucking bought 2
Funkos.
of those.
My
Kevin,
wife
I was
loves
the same
them.
way.
Oh God, the
Yeah.
crap.
I've got like
Yo,
I've got 2 of those. There's just that one I bought it just because a shop opened in town and I wanted to to buy something just to let them know that I appreciate a new store. And that one I bought at Comic-Con because holy shit, it's fucking Batman
Oh,
Beyond.
that's sweet, dude.
That
yeah,
I like,
I just
yeah.
bought that Batman Beyond one. I was just gonna say. I
Because
just
it's
bought
fucking
Batman
Batman Beyond, and I grew up with Batman Beyond, the TV
Yeah.
show.
That's my favorite.
I like these little guys right here because, you know, I like the little minions and stuff like that. You know, so I'll always try
Minions
to,
awesome.
yeah.
Kevin, you gotta get yourself one of these if you like Batman Beyond.
Oh yeah, it's on my list.
That,
you know?
man.
Hey Kevin, I actually bought 2 of those, but I wind up making a trade with Undisputed Frost for the other one.
That was
for
a Realm of
something,
Anarchy.
you know.
Crack. This
No,
is
I
the
don't
new
have that
crack.
much to trade. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm trying to limit my Funko Pop collection. I only got like 2 or 3 of those things, but yeah, you know, back to what you're saying, Marty. I mean, a lot of this stuff.
Don't get more.
Back to what you're saying, Marty. A lot of the stuff we collect is really out of love. It's not really about
Right.
monetary gain. Like hell, I collect. As you can see behind me, I collect a bunch of like Blu-ray movies and DVDs and such. I mean, I have like an original like collection of the Robotech collection on DVD, and I just keep that, you know, just for the fun of just watching Robotech.
I
love
have
stuff like that.
150 plus board games, and maybe one of them actually commands some money. but I'm not going to get rich off of
Sure.
Operation or Connect
Yeah.
Four, So
You're not backing up the Brinks truck, off of like what you have.
I'm offended that someone would assume to know why I collect comic books. It's
Yeah, you're right, and I totally agree with that, Trevor, and that's why I wanted to bring around full circle with that. What else do you guys collect? And if you guys notice that majority of us collectors up here who collect comic books, who collect statues, have always collected something else.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter, and okay, so
I collect music CDs.
yeah. So if for any reason it becomes, and just like Enrique said, for any reason that particular collecting thing that you did raises some type of monetary gain, then all the better. But you know what? There's a lot of things that I have that I know have raised in monetary gain, but I still keep them. I hang on to that. I don't do anything with it. And so what if I missed a boat on selling it for whatever high end amount that I can get off of eBay? I don't care, because guess what? I have it in my collection because for the love of it, and because when I enjoy it, So there you go. So Trevor, I totally agree with you, brother. Yeah, it's all about the love of what you have of doing it. No matter what people say, regardless of what other people say about. But how can you assume? How can you assume to know what I collect for the reason I collect, for what I want to collect, or what the love of what I do? Only arrogance and just like you say, being a narcissist would only say, yeah, you're collecting for this reason. Okay, like you really know me. Okay, So I totally agree. And I just kind of want to also, I know we talked about this whole rebirth thing to death. Everybody's talking about it. If you guys haven't been to my my Facebook group, you guys are definitely missing out, because I want to say thank you to everybody who is on our Comic Book Fanatics Facebook group for making it what it is. Man, when we first started out, me and Ray were on there just posting comic books, talking to each other, posting articles here and there and things like that, right? And since we started getting everybody within the community joining on, dude, I'm finding out firsthand about certain things, first trailers that come out, first articles that come out about certain topics, about this, about that. Dude, I'm being educated by everybody, and I think it's awesome what you guys are posting on there, man, to know firsthand, oh shit, someone already knows this and they're already posting it, and I'm seeing the trailer firsthand, or I'm reading this article firsthand for of what's coming out next. That's freaking amazing. So thank you so much for everybody making Comic Book Fanatics Facebook group and YouTube channel for what it is. Thank you guys so much. You guys are definitely a big part of my knowledge and my edification and education when it comes to this community, man. So thank you so much. But I know we talked to death about Rebirth, man. But let's go back a little bit about Rebirth. Rebirth is coming out this Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
For people who don't know about Rebirth, what should they read? What should they get educated with? And what story arcs should they read prior to the Rebirth happening? Can you guys educate me on that a little bit?
I'm going to step out of this conversation, but I would say read a Marvel comic. No, I'm excited for it. I'm going to pick up Wonder Woman, but
I personally don't know, but I'll assume the Before Watchmen Dr. Manhattan storyline is, I'll assume, I don't know.
You also got to read what's out right now, like what's happening with Superman. That's
Superman.
big because Superman has a lot of titles coming out in Rebirth, so you want to know what's going on with that. If especially with the Asian Superman, you already know the big
For
deal.
somebody who's never read a DC comic book, I mean, and you've heard of the characters, for Rebirth, just go with the basics. Go with Superman #1, Batman #1, like all the major characters #1. If you want to spread your money out that far as Rebirth goes, but yeah, I mean, it kind of DC, when it comes to their characters, it kind of guides themselves if you think about it, because like not everybody knows, everyone in the world knows who Batman and Superman are. I'm sure they do know, but
I think Marty was asking what storylines will be helpful to read in preparation for the new Rebirth.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry. That missing
Well,
the
I mean, well, I have a bit of an accent, because English is not my, it's my second language. So excuse me if that came out the wrong way. But yeah, in preparation to Rebirth coming out, what story arcs prior to that lead up to Rebirth, do you think people should be getting educated themselves with?
well, one of them I think would be Superman, Lois and Clark, because that's going to play a major role in it. Another one, like for back history, I would say Flashpoint and Watchmen, but not necessarily the Watchmen. I mean, it'll give you some story points, but mostly Flashpoint.
Like the Flashpoint Paradox, like they did with the animated movie.
Yeah.
Nice.
Remember the Flashpoint that created the whole New 52? I mean, if you guys don't know the story behind it, that should be a good read.
This one right here you're talking about.
That's it, sir.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what caused the New 52.
Yeah.
Everything that happened here.
Goddamn
And,
Flash.
yeah. In the cartoon adaptation, it was watered down. It wasn't everything that happened here. This is what caused the reboot of the New 52.
So the Batman,
him and Zoom.
So Batman and Superman 32 that had the Asian Superman, is that something to read before the whole something to pick up before the Rebirth?
If you're gonna pick up the new Superman issues, I would say yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's probably one.
Mm-hmm.
What about the Dark Side Wars? Does that lead into the Rebirth for anything?
Oh yeah.
I think you need to read that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If some of the rumors, there's some rumors too, and I won't go into for spoiler purposes, but there's a couple. I mean, you should read maybe Dark Side Wars. Forever Evil might be something you might want to just kind of go through, not directly tied to it, but could be. So.
Okay, so there you go. There's some books that if you're into DC, if you're wanting to know a little bit about the whole Rebirth process, then those are some books that are good to pick up. And you don't have to start all the way from the beginning and pick up every single issue. If you can find the trades, pick up the trades. You know what I mean? There was a question, and this was off our group. I think early on in the week, and I think everybody chimed in about this. It was a woman. It was a female, and she was getting into collecting, and she wanted to know which book should I start with? I mean, since I'm a new collector, what should I pick up? Some people was like, well, try this, try that. My recommendation to her was, well, get a trade of what you're interested in. But what are some of your recommendations?
As a young collector, because I've been collecting for 2 or 3 years, I've been there like that long time ago. Just at first, it's so tempting to try everything, to go in because there's so much topics, there's so much superheroes. But as much as you want to try everything, at some point you're gonna go in one direction. For me, it's more like Image Comics. I fucking enjoy Image. But Spider-Man, Deadpool, Batman, Flash, those are my main superheroes that I love to follow. But if you're again new in the game, try a little bit of everything. Trades are fucking good. Go to your library and try to read some trades just to know the storyline.
Manny, what's your opinion on this? What do you think about?
Manny's been a little quiet tonight. Manny, I saw Manny yawning earlier, and it looked like he was dozing off. And I don't know if he's just bored or he just doesn't want to be here. I don't know what it is.
Manny just collect for profit, so.
That's why his microphone's off.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
Your mic's not working, man.
The mic's not what? No, mine. Oh.
Yours is fine.
Somebody
I
muted
think
Manny.
it's Manny. Yeah.
No, his
But
mic
I
isn't
think
muted.
it's muted. Whatever.
Oh, that means he must have a lot to say.
You're still.
Read his lips. Read his lips.
You're still muted, Manny.
We can't hear you, Manny.
All right.
I'll speak for Manny. Manny said vote for Jeff. Because vote for Jeff is a
We'll go down the line. What about you, Trevor? What the fuck?
Where's everybody?
What?
I'm just
What?
confused as to where we are right now.
Trevor, we're talking about as far as a new collector goes, and if they want to get into collecting or reading or
Yeah.
getting interested in the comic books, what would your recommendation be?
It would just wait till Rebirth launches and start in there. I mean, what else? What other option do you have, right? What other option do you have unless you want to? I mean, you can go buy a bunch of back issues and stuff, but if you're a new collector, just wait a few weeks and start with Rebirth.
That was the whole point of the whole Rebirth issue. It's kind of like a jump-on point to everything, what they're going to be doing and everything. As for me, I've stated it once, I'm getting the Rebirth book, and I will decide I'm going to get the Flash books because Flash has something to do with it again. Maybe, I don't know. You're hearing rumors. I've seen the article just a tad bit, and I just stopped reading. I said, you know what? I want to get the book and enjoy it, and then I'll take it from there. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I hope it's good.
Now?
We can hear you now. You're on there.
all right,
I'm gonna
man.
stop that
Yeah.
later.
Can we hear you now?
Everybody quiet. It's Manny time.
It's Manny time.
I fucking muted my fucking mic, and then I can't talk anymore.
Oh, don't try.
Go ahead, brother.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about now. Fuck this. Fuck Rebirth, Marvel, DC, Image.
Hey, for newer collectors, man, like when you started out collecting, man, and of course, what was your first thing to start collecting or start reading that you started getting into? Not necessarily collecting. I want to say collecting because collecting is I think it's a whole different realm than actually starting getting into actually reading love of comic books, man.
It was those Incredible Hulk books from the '80s. That's what I was reading because that's what my step pops. He gave me a bunch of like Incredible Hulk, some Avengers, but the Hulk ones were the ones that I was reading. And then I got into Spider-Man, and then the whole '90s came. New Mutants. We're talking about '88 to all the way down to the the '90s stuff. I was with just that bullshit and just buying multiple copies of a lot of those freaking covers with the foil and
Yeah, the '90s
Superman's death but actually the Superman death, I think they're getting a little more rare because a lot of people opened them up, so the ones that are closed, they're probably rarer than the ones that are open. Probably less of those.
And how many variations of that came out? I mean, you had the white cover, you had I think the black cover, and then you had like a gray cover to it, right?
I think it was like platinum or something. No.
Oh yeah,
that's what it was.
The white cover is when he came back. The black cover is when he died. And
okay.
There's a bunch of other Reign of the Superman kind of thing going on.
Right.
Yeah, funeral for a friend, and then he came back to life. Whatever.
Sure. Okay.
He sucks.
What about you, James?
What was the question?
I don't know, man.
Focus, people, focus.
Where are we? I think we're getting tired.
Oh, no. Yeah.
No, we're just getting tired of Warner Brothers not knowing what to do with their fucking properties in the movies. But that's for another time and another space.
All right,
That's next week.
Coming back to it.
That's
James chimes in. He's like, "That's why I love video games." So.
No, real quick.
And that's
if you're a person who's never collected comic books and you're looking to jump in, just jump in. Because honestly, I think I can speak for everybody that we all just jumped in. We didn't start at the first issue. So, the idea of people saying that Rebirth is a jumping on point or the New 52 was a jumping on point.
No.
Exactly. The
like
whole
Marvel.
The whole, you know what I mean. But as far as jumping on points, just jump in. That's it. I mean, it's not. I mean, you'll piece things together. You'll eventually know the origin of this person or that person. Just jump in. You don't need a number one. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but if there is a number one available, it's a good time
pick it up. Yeah, I agree.
Just to add
number one. Number one doesn't start at really number one. They start. The character already exists.
It's established.
Yeah.
But those outside.
Get that.
Yeah, but like that outside consumer thinks, oh, number one, that's got to be a collector's issue. Because you remember when, even early, like say years ago, like 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, you'll see that number one issue. it says it says collector's edition or collector's item. You know, I mean,
That
come
was
on,
the
you know?
that was the '90s hype with this is a
Game
collector's edition, and
Yeah.
if it's a collector, if it said collector's edition, then most likely it's probably not a book that you want to collect. But you know,
Well, in the
Right.
Silver Age, you had the big premiere issue when they did Marvel did their kind of reboot when they brought Captain Marvel, Nick Fury, Iron Man, Hulk got its own title, Thor got its own title. Every issue kind of had that blurb on it, you know, big premiere issue, collector's item.
Do you guys,
Right.
because now Marvel, after the Marvel they start again, do you think they're gonna bring back the Ultimate Universe just to do another rebirth,
No.
reboot?
No.
I don't think so. I think it's dead.
I think anything with enough time will be collectible. You know, because our grandkids from now, books from the 90s will be collectible.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Some books of the 90s are already collectible.
yeah, some books are already collectible. And
Some books
so,
of the 2000s are already collectible. Fucking first Spider-Gwen appearance is a fucking collectible.
yeah, there's going to be some point in time, maybe where not our generation, but there's not going to be any more paper. So any magazine that was done is going to be collectible. You know?
I mean, look at a lot of artwork nowadays. They're doing it on computers. You know what I mean? And it's not being done on paper. It's being done on like a pad or and just getting transferred. So yeah, I totally understand. Hey guys, last topic I want to talk about. So did you guys see first episode of Outcast?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I didn't get a chance to.
Freaky as hell, like the comic. That's what's so good about the comic. I think it's at issue 19 or 20, and we still don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, what the fuck is an
But you
Outcast?
have an idea, right?
It's at 18 right now. It's at
kind of.
18, not 19.
Yeah.
18. 18.
That first episode, I'm not sure everyone saw it, but that first
Yeah, I
episode
saw it.
was gold. It was
Jenna's gonna love the first episode. The first 5 minutes of that episode.
Jenna,
Michael,
you gotta watch it.
It's going to make you pay for HBO Go.
Is Outcast
Yay.
a horror show?
It's on the
Is it-
I mean, it's on Cinemax.
It's on
It's
Cinemax.
The only reason
That's the
HBO
bad
Go
thing.
has it is because it's, I guess, I don't know.
Well, it was on
They- I think they own
YouTube.
Cinemax.
They put the
Yeah.
first episode on YouTube, and I will tell you, I watched it yesterday, and they pretty much followed the first episode, the first comic book.
Yeah.
There were some variations to it. There were some variations, not much, but they did an outstanding job with following that comic book, and that
They
show
killed
was
it.
creepy, man. It was
They killed
creepy.
it. The first 5 minutes. The first 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
First 5 minutes.
Listen, it was good, but I'm not gonna pay. I'm not gonna pay to get Cinemax. I already have HBO.
That's
I'm
the
gonna
problem
give you
with
some
it. That's
websites.
the
I'm
only
gonna give you
problem
some
with
websites.
Outcast. I mean, it's a great show, but not everybody have Cinemax. So,
Yeah.
will
But,
you really
I mean,
pay like
a good
$10 a
point,
month for
there's,
Cinemax?
Good
hold on
point was
a
brought
second.
up.
Yeah.
HBO
Mayor,
is owned by
there-
Cinemax.
there's ways around that, brother. We're not talking about if you're going to pay for
you
Cinemax
want to keep this
or
on
you're
a
going to
legal
buy
thing
Cinemax
there.
or not. We are talking about how great the fucking first episode was compared to the comic book, Mayor. So let's talk about that, brother.
Well, first of all, I don't know what other ways you are talking about.
Good one.
Internet? What is that? Internet? Huh?
Internet. Don't know what
No,
this
but I'm just saying, the show is awesome. But I'm saying, I don't think it might not do well because it's on Cinemax.
This
I don't know what
is
Cinemax
down
is.
in the polls.
I disagree. I think it's going to do awesome. I mean, it's enough to hold up for people to go and actually pick up Cinemax and watch it. Like, I mean, for one, it's only going to be 8 for the first season. It's only going to be 8 episodes. So during that off time, it's going to have plenty of time for the comic to actually build more momentum. And also, yes, I mean, it's also going against it's got another Exorcist type of TV show coming out later in the fall called The
what a
Exorcist.
marketing scheme for them to post it for free on YouTube so everybody can watch it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you're a
Not everybody. I can't watch it.
You have YouTube, dude.
No, they don't allow it in Canada.
Yeah, Canada doesn't get it.
Okay.
Are you serious?
You can get around it.
Really?
You can get around it, but yeah, you really can't get it.
We'll
Get around
post it on the comic
We
book
like to play
fanatics
by the
group.
rules, sir.
Man, there are
I'm
times
sorry.
in Canada that you can't
I'm
watch
sorry.
movie trailers because they're only for the States.
What about if they post it onto like a Facebook group? You could still be able to Do
No,
they
I
put
No,
that
no,
up?
because you're linking it
No,
from
because
the,
it links
the
to
original
Yeah.
YouTube.
location.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
That
So
sucks.
yeah,
It's like region control on DVDs, right? It's the same.
I'm so sorry for you guys then, man.
Wow.
You're not. I know.
Let's just say when they started out the show, okay, when they
Oh
started out the show,
yes.
they had the kid. They had the kid, which you saw at first, and you could tell, at first, okay, there's something wrong with this kid. Okay, there's something wrong. If you read the comic books, so you kind of put two and two
Run!
together. So you see a roach or a bug that's crawling on the wall, and what this kid
Ew.
does, this kid bangs his head on the wall. Blood just splatters all over the place, and he eats the freaking roach. All right, so that's an add-in based off of what's not in the comic book.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
freaky.
Yeah.
And that was freaky, guys. I will tell you. Now, I have a problem. I have a little bit of PTSD when it comes to watching these exorcism movies and stuff like that because I was about maybe 8 or 9 when I first watched The Exorcist, okay? And I could not sleep for an entire week after that. So, it's very difficult for me to watch these kind of movies. But I will tell you, that kept my interest, man.
Hey, Marty. All I can say about that first scene is 2 words: potato chips. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
potato chips. Yeah.
Ladies,
You know what I'm
potato
talking
chips.
about, right?
Oh yeah, the potato chips.
Now,
I need to go watch this.
that was in the comic book, too.
Yeah.
Except I don't think they actually showed him eating his finger. They actually showed the finger on the floor or something like. I think that was us.
Why am
Yeah.
eating fingers?
I don't know. What do you guys think about that? And thoughts and opinions about the first episode of Outcast and how you do? I mean, it's I
For
don't know.
me, as a collector, it's the very first time where I followed a comic book series, and it's actually adapted on the screen afterward. The Walking Dead, I started with the show, and then I went to the comics. But now I started with the comics, and then I went to the show. And I'm fucking glad they did what they did. I love the comic books, and the show is gonna be crazy. It's just I think they just repeat Robert Kirkman so much in like the first generic. When they start the intro, there's like produced by Robert Kirkman, writing by Robert Kirkman, like so much Robert Kirkman. I'm like, God, we know
The
that
motherfucker wants to get paid. That's why.
Everything was Kirkman in there. If you notice, in the
Yeah, they didn't say image.
Kirkman. Credits by
Hey, did
Kirkman.
Kirkman make this?
yeah.
The empty fear that you have inside of you is by Kirkman.
Everything is Kirkman. Kirkman is actually writing this right now. Actors are all Kirkman.
The chat is by Kirkman.
It just shows you how sick his mind is.
Dude, I will
That's cool.
tell you, I think this guy, to me, personally, from what I've seen, he is the Stephen King
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that.
Thank you,
comic book writing when it comes to those type of
Fingers there somewhere.
storylines, But it's just, I'll tell you, I enjoy that. That's just like Game of Thrones, man. Oh my God, dude, Game of Thrones.
Oh, God.
That's
Yeah, so hurry up.
another
because it's
freaking.
about to come
Hurry
on.
up and watch it, dude. Jeez,
I'm
it's so
one
good.
season late, 1 season behind you guys.
I haven't watched one of them yet. I am so behind. I
Yeah,
get
You haven't
sick
watched
watching it.
one of
You're
them of
missing
this
out, man.
season?
It's so
The
good.
whole
Oh my
entire
God.
thing, dude.
You're
I
missing
haven't
out.
watched
It's a
the
good
thing
show.
at all.
Yo.
Since you
Marky,
guys
it's
brought
so
up
good,
Games of
dude.
Thrones, since you guys brought it up, do you know there was a Games of Thrones comic book?
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
Alex Ross did the covers. It was by Dynamite. It was okay, and it basically complemented the TV, the first season of the show. It was pretty boring. Like I said, anybody who's going to pick up a Game of Thrones comics is a Game of Thrones fan, and you just watched it first. So, yeah.
I'm telling you, Game of Thrones, to me, my top pick TV show so far. Game of Thrones, Penny Dreadful, and now Outcast. Those
Yes,
are mine.
Penny Dreadful. Penny Dreadful is so good.
Have you
Flash is on the top of my list.
Have you
I mean,
watched the Powerless thriller? I've heard about a TV show called Powerless. It's gonna be the next The Office or Friends
Yeah,
kind of.
people
Yeah, I did see that.
supposedly some heroes that don't have powers and another dumb DC idea. That's what I think.
I don't know.
Or Marvel
I've
idea.
heard
I don't know
about
what
that.
it is.
Yeah, I've heard about
I
that
think
as
I
well.
think that's all in the rumor bill until they announce that shit. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Hey guys, we are at the point of our show where we do final thoughts and shout outs. And I'm, such a lot of great topics tonight. A lot of talking points that we had, a lot of ideas, a lot of different things that we discussed tonight, and I just want to say I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I appreciate everybody tuning in, especially with the technical difficulties we were having earlier. But thank you so much for everybody, especially in the chat group, everybody who makes everything that we do, contributes to everything we do, whether it be an Instagram or Comic Books Fanatics face group or the YouTube channel, and even each individual YouTube channel that everybody has here. But we're going to start out with final thoughts and shout out from my boy Biggie's Comics. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, again, thank you, Marty, for having me on the show today. I wasn't able to get on for the last couple of weeks. Just everyone stay collecting. Collect what you want. Don't let nobody tell you guys which way to collect or what to start reading. Just do what you want to do. It'll be more fun that way. Don't try to keep up with other people. You do what makes you happy. That's it. And shout out to everybody on the panel. Shout out to everybody in the chat. And that's it, guys. Until next week. Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Biggies. We really appreciate you coming on, like always, and thank you so much, man. We had a great time with you on the show today. And we're going to go with Kevin from Kevin's Comics. Go ahead, brother. Final thoughts.
Again, great fucking show. Love those topics. Today I want to do a great shout out because Marty, you didn't do this shout out today. Shout out to Blue Moon.
That's awesome.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I just wish I could get some type of monetary gain for the things that I love, Thank you, Kev. Appreciate you coming on, man. Jean Paul Ace Peter. Go ahead, brother.
Well, again, awesome show. Shout out to everybody here in the side chat. You guys go check out a couple of people. There's a guy, Undisputed Frost, I think his name is.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who that guy is, man.
Go check him out.
Never heard of him.
Jared Osborne is another guy. Jared Osborne is another guy. He worked at Marvel. He comes on the off air and he just keeps telling us awesome stories about the bullpen back in the day and stuff, and so that's awesome. But real quick, I want to say here in Western Canada, we're having a fire right now. It's burning in Alberta. It's really, really, really bad, like proper big. And so everybody out on the West Coast, be safe. And a lot of comic collections are getting burnt up, and that's okay because comics they don't matter if you're not here to enjoy them with people. So everybody be safe and be smart. So.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you coming on as always, man. We've got Rage Comics. Trevor, go ahead, brother. Final thoughts and shout-outs for you, man.
Shout out this time would go to Punisher 88. Actually, I've been watching. Frank's a great guy, and I've been watching his lame superhero videos on YouTube there. And man, some of that stuff's really, really funny. So go check it out, Punisher 88. Final thoughts. I was a little more animated than usual tonight because that's a topic that really, really bugs me.
Yeah.
So I mean, didn't mean to offend anyone or anything like that. Collect how you want to collect. It's not about that. It's just don't tell someone else you only collect for money. It's like telling someone else, you only work this job because that's all you can do. And that's just not, you don't tell people that kind of stuff. So that's my final thoughts.
Awesome, brother. Great to have you as always, man. Vote for Mayor Jeff Johnson. Go ahead, brother.
As usual, thanks for letting me be on the show. Thanks to for being here. Shout out to everybody here. Shout out to everybody in the chat. And I have to give a special shout out to Eddie the Comic Guy. As your guys may or may not know, Eddie do some drawing on the side, so I gave him a couple of Chaos comics for him to draw Darkwing Duck on a blank variant for me, and he showed me pictures of it, and it looked awesome. So as soon as I get it in, I'm going to do a video of it. So thank you, Eddie. So subscribe to him.
Awesome, brother. And do we get that final music from you before I give you the applause, or what?
Can I bring it up? Can I bring it up real quick?
Go ahead, bring it up, man. It wouldn't be right if we didn't.
And remember, a vote for Jeff Johnson is a vote for comics. So vote.
Oh God.
Awesome, brother. Mark 316. Go ahead, brother.
Oh my God! I mean, how do I come after the mayor after that statement? I'm just like, bye, good night. I got nothing else to say. But no, it's the chat. Everybody in the chat, even though Comic DJ thinks I'm a fossil, this fossil knows more than you, sir. So go watch some Star Trek and learn a little bit something about space and the final frontier. As for everybody else, hey, you guys rule. I'm having a great time when I talk to you, everybody. And yeah, I mean, we already mentioned Undisputed Frost. I mean, and Gene Paul Ace, Peter, me and him and you were all up late last night talking about subjects.
Don't forget Boo.
Yeah, we caught Murky asleep again.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
I'm building up a screenshot collection. I got a screenshot collection of everybody who falls asleep on the Offer Hangouts, and so expect my next video, man. I'm not joking. It's like 12 people. It's crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah, so don't fall asleep on the chat or you get caught in the video. So anyway, with that a note, yeah, vote for Jeff Johnson. He rules. Oh, and just want to shout out one guy's name. He always comments on my videos, and he's having a contest. His name is Kyle Rowe. And he's a cool guy. Check him out. He's got a couple of videos here. He's got a contest going on, and he always makes a comment on my videos. So check him out, guys. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, brother. King of the Golden State, James. Go ahead, brother.
Hey guys, I just want to say thanks for having me back. And shout out to the chat. And if you ever get a chance, check out AG Surfer's channel. He gives some subscribers, and when it comes to those midnight releases for DC Rebirth, be safe because it's a midnight release. You never know what's out there. So
that's why in Texas we have concealed and open carry laws for around those things. So
I hear you, brother. I hear you. But
there's no midnight opening for you.
There's midnight opening everywhere, man, for those things.
I don't think there's midnight openings here.
Yeah, but if you do, be safe. You never know what's out there, man. But thanks again, and I hope to come back soon.
Awesome, brother. Thanks for coming on, man. Manuel Melendez, Manny NYC. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, he's up.
Shit, about time, man. What the fuck?
I tried to save the best for, second last here, Manny, okay?
Yeah. Big shout out. I'm gonna give two shout outs. I'm gonna give shout out to the other part of New York City, CeeLos.
CeeLos.
189. Give a big shout out to him. And another shout out to Omega 13. He's doing me a favor. He's getting 2 books signed for me by Adam Hughes in MegaCon up in Orlando. So big shout out to him for doing that for me. Really appreciate that, bro. If you're watching the show tonight. And my thought is, next time when I fucking talk, you guys should let me talk, because if not, I'm gonna fucking burn this fucking internet off.
Awesome, brother. Great to have you as always, man. Thanks for coming on again, Manny. I really enjoyed having your wit and your personality on the show.
Thanks, man.
All right, to finish it off, we've got my co-host, Jenna. Go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You saved the best for last, right?
The best for last.
Well, I do want to say thank you to everybody that was on the chat today. It was really good. Everybody was really awesome and engaged, and the topics were great. And I just wanted to shout out to, because I saw on the comic chat that people were talking about digital copies now. So they were actually purchasing digital comics to read instead of ruining the ones that they purchase in store. But there is a good comic, 68zombie.com. If you guys want to check that out, there's some really awesome art and pretty sweet storylines in there. So that was who I wanted to shout out. And then, just again, thanks for you guys all being here. I love all the panel guests. They're amazing. And I'm going to be going to a Bad Company concert soon.
Awesome.
So,
Have fun
I don't
doing
know who the
that.
fuck is that, so
Burn on
What
a
is that
stake.
company? What's that?
Well,
Bad
have fun,
Company?
Jenna. We really appreciate you having on and facilitating the chat group and everything else. So thanks once again.
Yeah, have fun. Don't get punched in the face.
And
Oh, geez,
just
I hope not.
just to piggyback off of what Manny NYC just to piggyback off of what Manny NYC said in reference to burning this motherfucker down, I'm going to say just come at me, bro. That's all I can tell you, man. Just come at me, and then we'll take that from there. But guys, that is all we have for tonight as far as talking points and comic talk tonight. I just want to say thank you so much for all the panel members and stuff like that. Just being on this talk show as always and having a good time and just shooting the shit with us, man. Hopefully next weekend maybe we'll have a special guest, and I don't know, maybe I can pull something out of my hat or something like that. But we'll see. My shout outs is to Geek Girls. You guys know who Geek Girls is. I subbed, so. So, let you guys know.
I think everybody's
I have not.
Before I do that, let me take a swig right here. Real quick.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What are you talking about? Because I have no clue what you're talking about.
If you guys haven't subbed to Geek Girls yet, make sure you guys go check her out. I'm sure you guys will have a wonderful time viewing what you see. So.
You gotta check out both our channels.
I have no clue what you're talking about. Geek
Not
Girls.
lying.
I know, I'm lying. You're right.
Tell the truth.
I like that
Marty
Manny
just
said check out
froze.
both their channels.
Look at Marty froze.
Check out both our channels.
Good grief.
Alright.
Now Marty just left. How do we end the show? Like, what the fuck? He just froze.
Oh, he just
He did
froze?
Oh, no.
He'll be
Well,
back.
I will end the show. I just want everybody to geek responsibly.
Keep responsibly, yes.
It's a good one.
Danny, I mean,
I'm gonna end it now, so everybody say bye. I hope I have the capability. If I can't, then this is really awkward.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
probably
Behind the
yeah.
scenes, that's all.
Oh no, I can't.
Don't worry, we'll
click
get
it.
some extra
Oh my
bonus.
god.
We'll get the bonus round here. Come on.
It's like
Oh,
hey,
I'm
Sean,
trying to
Sean, you gotta freeze up
The
this
after
for Marty.
show. Hey, this is Chris Hardwick and live from the after show. We just did comic talk here and things have gone a little crazy here. The host has disappeared. Oh my god, and we'll be right back. I hate that.
No. Mark, you're wrong.
We got spoilers in
Host-
5, 4, 3, 2, spoilers.
Go fuck
Yo,
yourself.
man, you
Hey,
got
we
knocked
go.
off.
Come on. I hate that.
Batman dies in the new Rebirth.
Oh my god.
I can't listen
I'm
to
gonna fucking beat you up. I'm gonna go to your town and I'm gonna beat the fuck you up.
It's a 14-hour ferry ride to Newfoundland.
We're getting,
luck with that.
we're getting rage.
I'm gonna be like in my car. Oh damn, oh dang, that son of a bitch.
So wait a minute, whoa, Jenna, you
You're not gonna be
can't
able to
shut
close.
the show?
It has to be Marty.
Marty he let me last couple of times. He didn't let me this time.
Oh
Be
god.
kind and be safe to each other.
All right, this is your mayor. Welcome to the CBF after show. We are really going to let our hair down for those who have hair.
Hey, those who have hair, you know.
Those who have hair and
I still got hair.
open mic. Open mic.
Open mic.
Jeez. Who wants to start?
Oh,
All right. Avengers 83 is not the first appearance of Valkyrie. Stop saying that. That's Enchantress. It's not Valkyrie. You want the first appearance of Valkyrie, go to Incredible Hulk 126. That's the first appearance of Barbara Norris. Hit that book up. Avoid anybody who's talking about 83 Avengers as the first Valkyrie.
Oh,
It is
pick
not.
both of them. You never too safe.
Pick both of them. Actually, you know what? Kevin's right. Get them all. Get them all.
I'm back.
Come
I'm
on.
The
back.
host is back.
Oh yeah.
Bonus time.
I don't know what. You know what? I apologize. I don't know what the hell's going on with my internet tonight. It took me a while to get back on.
You're Robert
I know
now.
that some people already left, but as you guys know, you guys heard my final thoughts and shout out. So you heard my shot out. But if you
Is it
guys
just
haven't
me
checked,
or he's talking robot style?
He sounds.
Oh no,
choppy.
he froze up again. Dude,
Froze
just shut down the show. We're gonna be on.
Shut down
for
the show. No
hours.
problem.
Alright.
Oh,
thank
wait
you
a minute.
guys.
Wait a minute.
Wait,
Shut it down. Shut it down.
Oh,
shut it down. Oh my god.
Shut it down. I'm
Shut it
shutting
down. Shut